This is the butterfly house in Ocean Park. There are many species of beautiful butterflies inside, one of which is the birdwing butterfly. The birdwing butterfly is a native species of Hong Kong. It is the butterfly with the largest body size among local species. The species is nearly extinct and has been rarely seen in the countryside in recent years. Look at this display board. Here is the story of saving the birdwing butterfly species.
The birdwing butterfly is the one with the biggest body among all the local butterfly species. It is the only insect species which is protected by the laws of Hong Kong. Its hind wings are yellow, big and beautiful. Many people like to catch them for pets. The larvae feed on the rare plants called India birdwort only. Hence the larvae are at the threat of starvation. The pupa of the birdwing butterfly is victim to a species of small black ants which eat their way into the pupa and kill it. In 1994, we tried to remove pupa of the butterfly from plants and keep them in a safe place in which the pupa completed their development to the adult stage. They were then released back to the wild. We have been successful in planting a large number of India birdworts so as to provide ample food for the larvae of the butterfly. In this way, a population of the birdwing butterfly has been established in the Kaduri farm and botanic garden.
The birdwing butterfly is rare because its larvae feed only on the leaves of India birthwort, which is also an endangered species. We can only find a small number of the plant in two locations, one on the foothill of Pat Sing Leng Range and the other on the foothill of Tai Mo Shan in Lam Chuen Valley. The plant community in Tai Po is inside a construction site and will soon be destroyed. Hence the birdwing butterfly is on the brink of extinction. Kaduri Farm and Botanic Garden has successfully cultivated the India birthwort, which in turn helps conserve the birdwing butterfly.
We have been quite successful in cultivating India birthwort in the Kaduri Farm and Botanic Garden. We have also transplanted the seedlings to Tai Lung Farm and the Ocean Park. In both locations, the plants grow prosperously. In this way, we have promoted the method of conserving the birdwing butterfly to other places.
This is a marsh in a valley in the North Lantau Country Park. Here are some clusters of an endangered local species of pitcher plant. They were all transplanted from Tung Chung.
Before 1990, there was a rich growth of this plant in the marshes on the slopes behind Tung Chung on Lantau. In the early 1990s, the government decided to construct a highway along the north coast of Lantau to link up the Czech Blackcock Airport with the city. All the slopes along the north coast were blasted for the highway. With the natural habitat destroyed, the native pitcher plant species is threatened.
In the early 1990s, the construction of the new airport at Czech Blackcock and the redevelopment of Tung Chung totally destroyed the natural habitat of the pitcher plant. In 1994, the AFCD transplanted all the pitcher plants of Tung Chung to this location. Having monitored them for 6 years, we found all the transplanted plants grow very well here, and our project's been successful. Pitcher plants are found in many other country parks in Hong Kong, but this species is rare and is protected by law. Whenever you come across these plants in the countryside, don't ever pick them or harm them, just observe and appreciate them. Let these rare plants survive forever.
This is a Romer's tree frog. It is a species found in Hong Kong only. Among all local tree frog species, it is the one with the smallest body size. It has a very small population of limited distribution and is found only on Lantau, the former Czech Blackcock Island, Lama Island and Po Toi Island. In the early 1990s, it was decided that the whole of Czech Blackcock Island had to be reconstructed to build a new airport. The Romer's tree frogs on the island were doomed. How could we save them?
Czech Blackcock Island was chosen to be the site of the new airport. The Romer's tree frog is found in Hong Kong only. Moreover, it is confined to 4 remote islands. namely cheplap cock, lantau, llama and po toy. In late 1991, the University of Hong Kong started the project of capturing these frogs on Cheplap Cock Island and breeds them in the laboratory of the university. From 1993 to 1995, we chose 8 sites on Hong Kong Island and in the New Territories to release these frogs. One of the sites is here at Tu Hang. We visited the 8 sites regularly afterward to monitor their condition. In recent years, I have been able to find the frogs thriving in 7 of the sites. In these sites, I can hear the male frogs croaking during courtship, and tadpoles swimming and eggs laid in pools. I am sure they are all reproducing well.
Hong Kong is a small region without big rivers. There are merely streams and valleys instead. The streams here are characterized by the presence of many boulders of varied sizes. Their presence divides the riverbed into many microhabitats, enabling the survival of freshwater animals throughout the year. In recent years, the Drainage Service Department have reconstructed the streams in the New Territories. These reconstructed streams have their beds and banks covered with concrete, therefore looking smooth and tidy.
When I first came in 1999, I found the government was carrying out flood control projects here. The major work was to strengthen the banks of the stream. For the convenience of bringing trucks here, the contractor filled the stream bed with stones and soil to build a highway. The ecology of the stream was completely destroyed. The first thing I advised was to reconstruct the stream bed with pools or areas of deep water to re-establish the natural condition. That's because streams in Hong Kong consist of a mixture of pools and shallow beach habitats. Look at this part of the stream. There's a segment with shallow but rapid water. It flushes down a miniature waterfall into a pool of deep water which flows slowly. A pool is an important shelter for aquatic animals in heavy floods or drought.
The Drainage Services Department adopted Dr. Chan's advice. In the project of improving Tong Fuk Stream, the finished concrete bed was demolished and reconstructed according to Dr. Chan's design to simulate a natural stream bed.
While we were communicating by letter, I led the engineers and environmental consultants here for site visits to arrive at the best design. Once the project was completed in 2000, the stream looked like what you see now. It's now winter and there is less water here. You'd hardly know that parts of the stream bed have been dug downward to form deep water spots between shallow stretches, but you can still find deep water areas surrounded by boulders. It's hoped that when floods come in summer, the stream will undergo natural regulatory processes to resume most of the natural conditions suitable for the survival of the aquatic organisms.
As a result of overexploitation, Hong Kong is depleted of primary groves of the Chinese New Year flower. However, there is still a wide stretch of primary grove of the plant in Kaduri Farm and Botanic Garden.
Here is the natural woodland of Chinese New Year flower in Kaduri Farm and Botanic Garden. It has been thriving here since the 1950s. In the last several decades, we tried our best to protect the woodland. It is an example of protecting animals and plants in their natural habitats, which is the best way of wildlife conservation.
Conserving wildlife in its natural habitat is the best method of ensuring the sustainability of a species. In the early 1990s, the construction work on Chetlap Kok Island badly affected the marine environment of the neighbouring areas. A large number of the Chinese white dolphins were found dead as a consequence. The government invited experts to look into the best way to protect these dolphins.
I think it's a good idea to have marine parks, to have areas set aside that can be used not just again here to conserve the dolphins, but an entire ecosystem.
The government consequently set up the Sha Chao and Long Ku Chao Marine Park for conservation of the Chinese white dolphins in their natural habitat. Applying the same principle, the government has set up the Shanwan Restricted Area on Llama Island for the conservation of the native green turtles. The AFCD has set up a control point at the back of the beach and sent country park wardens here for round-the-clock patrols in July and August each year when the green turtles come to lay their eggs.
This is the Shanwan Restricted Area set up by the AFCD to protect the green turtles on Llama Island. From May onward, each year or every other year, in suitable weather, we can see turtles moving up the beach in the evenings to lay eggs. When the turtle moves up the beach and finds a suitable spot, it will dig a tube-like hole in the sand to a certain depth and lay eggs into it. It will use its hind legs to push sand to fill the hole afterwards. It then moves about 3 feet forward, piles still more sand to cover the hole and leaves.
If the weather is unfavourable, the wardens will take away the eggs and transfer them to the laboratory for artificial incubation. The newly hatched baby green turtles are bred artificially. If the number of baby turtles is too large, some will be bred in Ocean Park. When the babies are big enough, the AFCD wardens will release them back into the wild from Llama Island.
The green turtle is a wonderful marine animal. It is a migratory species, meaning that it has different feeding and breeding ground, which may be several thousand kilometers apart. In Hong Kong, we have this breeding ground in Shanwan on Llama Island. In the mainland, there is a green turtle refuge in Hui Dong County, which is another breeding ground. We have ample information about their breeding grounds, but no idea where do they go after laying eggs, and where their feeding ground is. In 2001, we conducted a joint project with a mainland institution to track down green turtles with a satellite signal generator. We tracked 3 turtles, found that 2 had wandered to Hainan Island, and the 3rd arrived in Ryukyu Islands in Japan. In 2002, we conducted the first satellite tracking project in Hong Kong. The green turtle here was found arrived in Hainan Island eventually. We concluded that the green turtles in southern China use Hainan Island and the Ryukyu Islands as their feeding grounds. This information is highly important. Only after we have some knowledge of their breeding grounds, their routes of migration and their feeding ground can we work out a holistic strategy to conserve them.
This is a 3-banded box terrapin. Its head is bright lemon yellow on top. There are 3 narrow black bands running along the back of the carapace from head to tail. Recently, large lots of these terrapins have been captured for use by herbalists as a medicinal material, supposedly for curing cancers. As a result, these animals in southern China are at the risk of extinction in the wild. This keen demand in the market also makes people capture other species of terrapin as substitutes for the genuine animal. Hence, the populations of the Chinese pond terrapin, the Reeves terrapin, and a range of other tortoises in the wild have dropped abruptly. Recently, local ecologists found the 3-banded box terrapin and many other species of terrapins and tortoises thriving in the streams in our country parks. Hong Kong might well be the place with the largest number, both in species and individually, of these animals in southern China. A project for conservation of terrapins and tortoises has been set up in Kaduri Farm and Botanic Garden to help maintain sustainability of these species in Hong Kong.
This is a gumchinguai, or a three-lined box turtle. It's a critically endangered species which has recently been listed on CITES as CITES 2 Appendix. It's probably one of the rarest or most threatened turtles in the whole of Asia, being critically endangered. Hong Kong's a critically important site for gumchinguai because it is in fact the last confirmed place in the whole of the animal's range where it still survives in the wild. So we have the important task in Hong Kong of protecting the last wild individuals of this species. But gumchinguai aren't the only turtles in Hong Kong. There's between 5 and 10 other species which can be found in Hong Kong. There's Reeves turtle is also a native, and in fact possibly even harder to find in the wild here than the gumchinguai. Turtles on a whole across Asia have a major problem, the Asian turtle crisis.
We have seen the three-banded box terrapin become a victim of over-exploitation by humans for medicinal purposes. Moreover, the Chinese people have a tradition of cooking wild animals with medicinal herbs. This is a bad practice.
If we don't protect these wild animals, it will lead to a break in the food chain. For example, if everybody eats mashed palm civet cats for food, these cats will be totally removed from the wild. The population of their prey, such as rats, will rise rapidly. The large number of rats feed on the plants and will eventually destroy all the vegetation. There exist in the habitat food chains, in which the animals occupy different and specific levels, and as such maintain a delicate balance in nature. Destruction of one or more levels will eventually lead to the destruction of the whole system.
To protect rare and endangered wildlife species, we need legislative measures to stop illegal trading. The efforts of scientists in saving wildlife are also vital. However, the ultimate solution lies in educating the public to fully understand the importance of conservation and to develop a love for wildlife and the natural environment.
The Endangered Species Resource Centre was set up in May 2001. It is a display room of 1,700 square feet floor area. Displayed here are some 500 specimens of various animals and plants. Examples are hides, ornamental items, medicine, and pets. These specimens were all seized by officials when they were taking actions against illegal trading. The aim of setting up this centre is to provide educational opportunities to the public so as to facilitate their understanding of the conservation of endangered species. We hope people would refrain from taking back these items when they tour abroad. If you suspect anybody hawking products of endangered species, you may use this letter form or dial 21506978. A sum of money will be awarded to the person providing effective information.